Greetings and welcome to this week's CCRP update. CCRP Jamaica is a non-profit, non-denominational and non-political membership organization for individuals aged 40 and over. CCRP was founded by Jean Laurie Shin as a tribute to her mother and the seniors who guided her company Procom following its 30th anniversary. Our mission? To ensure that the talent, experience and wisdom of seniors are respected, to ensure seniors enjoy the quality of life they deserve, to empower seniors to contribute in many ways as they can to their communities, to their country, and to the region. This program is proudly brought to you by Juicy Patties, always serving the land we love. From serving seriously good Jamaican food to empowering our communities, Juicy is proud to nourish Jamaica in every way. In this week's update, as Jamaica stands by to join in tomorrow's observance of World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, we'll hear from Senator Sherene Golding Campbell about the findings and work of the Senate Committee on the Care and Protection of the Elderly, a committee she chaired. But first, a little family business. Help us to continue advocating for your rights and assisting seniors in need. When you're a CCRP member, you're actively supporting the rights of seniors and the elderly and assisting in our outreach program. Members can make great savings with discounts of up to 30% from our over 100 discount partners. If you're 40 or over, you are eligible to join CCRP. For a fee of only $3,000 per year, CCRP opens up a world of exciting events. There are excursions, socials, wellness and lifestyle events. CCRP offers 2 health insurance plans underwritten by Sagicor and an international health plan underwritten by Lloyd's of London. There's also the BCIC J&GI Silver Shield plan for motor and property insurance, exclusively for CCRP members. For more information or to join online, visit our website, ccrponline.org. On next Sunday's program, some of our CCRP members will share special memories of their fathers as we celebrate Father's Day. And now to the core of today's update. Tomorrow, June 15, Jamaica joins our global partners in the observance of World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. We're now joined by Senator Sherene Golding Campbell to share findings and insights from the Senate Committee on the Care and Protection of the Elderly, a committee she very graciously chaired. Senator Golding Campbell, welcome to CCRP Update. Good to have you.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Thank you for having me, and thank you to your listeners as well for tuning in.
Right, and welcome to our family. Thanks for joining us. Listen, first off, when was this committee created? And let's talk a little bit about the outcome and the timeline. First of all, the creation. Talk to us about that first.
Okay, so if I go back to the source document that led to this committee, it would be the motion of Senator Floyd Morris in the 2020 to 2025 parliamentary term, where he tabled a motion in the Senate calling for a law to be established that addressed the elderly and the concerns of the elderly.
Mm-hmm.
That motion was debated, and the Special Select Committee is what came out of that motion as the vehicle that would do the investigation and do the inquiry into the issues surrounding the elderly and what a law would look like. What would we be proposing to the cabinet? So the committee actually was convened in October of 2024, and we began our work in December of that year. I had a very firm commitment that I did not at the time publish in the public domain. Yes. But I had said to my committee clerk, we're going to do this work in 6 months, and we're going to do it quickly, efficiently, and wrap up and provide the Parliament, the Senate, with a report. But for those who are interested in, the whole legislative process, this was a special select committee of the Senate. So it was just a committee of the upper house.
Right.
And we investigated the issues that arose. We did not draft a law. We made recommendations for how how a law should be drafted and what it should contain. And ultimately, we actually set out a roadmap for the next stage of the work that needs to be done so that you could really see from our report what that law should be like and how it should, how it should flow.
Hmm. Tell me about some of the actual work, the groundwork, the findings, and so on. It's like one of the things the Americans like to call how the sausage is made. We
Yeah.
sometimes we see a thing and it appears, and we don't necessarily have the kind of interest which I think we should have about the machinations and so on, because we the people is all the people, right? So tell us a little about that bit that you can, about
So
how it proceeded. Yeah.
so we proceeded first by publishing in the newspapers and on social media platforms our desire to have persons and groups who were interested in the subject, who had contribution to make, come before us, make submissions to the committee, and come before us to deliver those submissions orally. Part of select committee work, of course, is that kind of broad public participation where the public gets to come in and get involved with the work the committee is doing by informing the committee, advising the committee, or just simply sharing with the committee their lived experience of the particular issue. And so we did that first in December, and I think the deadline for that was February 15 of 2025.
Mhm.
Although as chair, I never refused any submissions, even if they came in after the deadline. As long as we were still engaged in the work, we heard everybody who chose to make submissions to us. And if I could say something about those submissions, because we got submissions on the topic, different aspects of the topic,
Yes.
from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. So there were government departments with whom the responsibility for some aspect of the elderly population falls, whether it's health, whether it's social welfare. So we heard from Ministry of Labor and Social Security, local government and community development. As you know, they are particularly concerned about the indigent. Ministry of Health and Wellness, the National Council for Senior Citizens, and the Legal Reform Department, as well as the Statistical Institute of Jamaica. And I make mention of those entities because, for example, the Legal Reform Department served us well by providing us with their research in different areas across the globe, different jurisdictions, so
Mm-hmm.
that we could get a sense of what they had done in terms of protection of the elderly through legislation.
Mm-hmm.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, for example, helped us to see this trending and very concerning demographic of an increase in the size of the population of older persons. So, and there have been startling numbers called in terms of the growth of that population, because of course we're not having as many babies as we used to have. So our fertility levels, our birth rate levels are going down, and our people are living longer. So we have much more older persons today, and that's going to be increasing in the near future. So those submissions were very important. We heard those submissions. We were able to interrogate the different persons who gave submissions. And from the private sector, we had a very useful submission from Mrs. Sherene McGregor. Miss Sherene McGregor, attorney at law. She's a family law practitioner, and she shared with us, some of the gaps in the court process and in the legal system in terms of how families, the tools that families have to utilize to care for their older folks. We heard from, of course, the Caribbean community of retired persons who are in touch with the older population very directly and very frequently. were able to share with us some of the concerns and the complaints coming from their membership. And what that helps me to do as a legislator, and I know my other colleagues who served on the committee, it helps us to understand the nexus between the legalese that we are recommended be drafted and how that legalese, that language, is going to impact people's lives on a daily basis in real life, in their day-to-day lived experiences. So it's a very, very important process, that process of hearing from the people, hearing from the community, hearing from groups who are experts in particular areas, for a select committee member to be able to process what that means for the recommendation I make and the vote that I have in this committee.
Wow. I'm hearing you saying without saying it explicitly, but it is very much there in evidence. It was robust, and this is all people can want for the the generation of laws, because the laws serve us and through us, but of course they're shaped by legislators and others. But I'm hearing so many inputs. Were you pleased with the robustness of the inputs?
I was thrilled. I was thrilled. It was extremely engaging. I mean, I can recall now a submission from the Jamaica Psychiatric Society, from Dr. Brian Kazara, about the issues, the health issues, the psychological and mental issues that older persons face as they get older. That was very, very much a poignant moment for the committee. I recall stories from another group, the Matilda's Corner, I think it's consultative committee, Matilda's Corner District Consultative Committee, who
Yes.
shared with us some of the challenges that some of their members were facing in shared communities where they were being taken advantage of. So I was very, very pleased with how robust it was. People participated. There were one or two groups who came back after their first oral hearing to share with us some more based on questions that we asked them. There were some that sent follow-up written submissions based on questions that we asked them. So I really can only report to you that
Hmm.
the public participated, the Jamaican public showed up and they participated and they made their voices heard, and we all on the committee were richer and assisted by that.
Fantastic.
The public servants in the Ministry of Labor. This is not a political directorate initiative
Sure.
anymore. The
Hmm.
political directorate has done their work. The legislature has done their work and he's sent it over. And what's supposed to happen now is that civil servants in the ministry are to do the technical work to get this done.
Mm.
And so I know we've had a hurricane, we've had a lot of pressure on the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. So they are really, I would imagine, very stretched.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I think we have to, what we don't have the luxury of doing as a country at the age that we're at, we don't have the luxury of doing one thing at a time.
Right.
We unfortunately have to be able to walk and chew gum and ride a bicycle and, say hello to the neighbors and all of that at the same time.
Yes.
And so while our older folks are having difficulties, families unable to help older persons and relatives who are being scammed financially because they don't have the right legislative tools to be able to do that. These things are happening. So we can't say, boy, this is lower priority than something else. We kind of just have to get it done at the same time.
Right. And so it's all hands on deck, all hands on deck, because we all stand to gain and to lose if we take a hands-off approach. I hear you very much, Senator. And thank you so much for your service. And we'll continue to track the work, and we're very appreciative of your leadership and, of course, of the entire committee that you led in moving it forward and those who participated. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And if I could just say one last thing about this committee,
Sure.
both my government members and my opposition members, we worked in tandem, we worked together, we communicated with each other behind the scenes to get this done quickly. We cooperated with each other. It was a truly bipartisan effort. And I think that's important to remember, that we can do things in the national interest without the cascas and without the vitriol that is often thrown across the parliamentary floor. We can do it. We are capable of it. And this committee was an excellent example of that.
Very glad to hear that. Thank you so much, Senator Sherene Golding Campbell. Thanks for your service, and thank you for being candid with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Good afternoon to you. Yes, that was Senator Sherene Golding Campbell, and of course, she chaired a special senatorial committee on the care and protection of the elderly. And yes, the law is in the making, and we continue to be a part of the process in any way that we can, one-to-one. And that's the CCRP update this week. Let's draw closer to our community. No delay. Until next Sunday at 3 for all things CCRP, visit our website, ccrponline.org. Follow, like socials, including YouTube, CCRP Jamaica. The Caribbean Community of Retired Persons, CCRP, is a non-profit membership organization for persons 40 years old and over, retired or preparing for retirement. The program is proudly brought to you by Juicy Patties, always serving the land we love. From serving seriously good Jamaican food to empowering communities, all our communities, Juicy is proud to nourish Jamaica in every way.